Good morning, everybody. It just turned from 11:04 to 5 on the clock, which is the 11 of justice, which is truth and balance. And going from 4 to 5 is the Emperor to the Hierophant, to the powers that be, to the way society does things, the way we're expected to do things, from being in the Emperor of full control to going to societal control. So perhaps looking at both sides of the coin right there today. I have two messages of the day. I have a union read and the twin flame read. And let's go ahead first and take our deep breath. Take a really deep breath and hold it as much as you can, as much as you're comfortable with, to the tips of your toes and the top of your head. One more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings. Hoping everyone is doing really well. And thank you so much for being here with me. All right, I'm going to roll the die first, show you the pictures, and we'll get right into the messages of the day. Okay, we have for the twin flames, number 6, love, family, and community, as well as the lovers. It's also the month of June, and lovers is Gemini, which is all about planet Mercury, which is also in June, so very much June energies, as we're now in July going into August. We're in Leo. We have Virgo here, and we also have Venus. Okay, so Venus is Libra and Taurus. Virgo is also Mercury, so we have Gemini and Virgo, so it's very mercurial today, which is all about communication. And then Venus, which of course is heart-based, love and balance. I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. Sensuality in communication. So here's the pictures first. All right, for those of you not familiar with my reads, this is the union read for the twin flames. The bottom row is the 4D, 5D, and 6D at the top. Feminines on the left, masculines on the right. The bridge between them in the center. See if we can clarify that a little bit better. Okay, the incoming divine feminine starts here. We close out with the outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energies, and the closing energies. This is the Syrian Starseed deck. This is the twin flame read that you see in front of you. This is the 7-deck read complete in front of you. Okay, for those of you not familiar, it is a lot of energy on the table, so if something doesn't resonate with you, don't force it to fit. It's a general read. There's a lot of messages for a lot of people. The two messages of the day here. This is the first one that was done last night, and the second one that was just done this morning. And we're going to get right into that. Okay. So this first message of the day was done at 10:06 last night. The underlying energy was the clover, which has to do with good luck. And the first card out was the loving man, along with the mountain. So good luck for the loving man with mountain to climb. Interesting too, because the read from this morning started out with the choice, and I think the choice came up yesterday as well, but also with the loving man and the mountain. So good luck for a loving man with mountain to climb, at home in public with gift for loving lady, with wise counsel to cross that bridge when he gets to it. A maze to navigate with lots of talk and power in numbers, the child exposed to the crazy house, the masks or bandits, that which is not what it seems. Commitment to public staff and impatient to choose a gift, power man for loving lady with spiritual guidance and family tree navigating twin bridges with the fox nearing a breakthrough with community regarding the burden to the child, exposed to inject with powers that be, pushing it, that it's not what it seems. Abundance with family commitment and public impatient of pests and toxins, and the gift of choice and cracking codes. The loving lady and the power man take a gamble to go on a journey. At 10:30 was the Wheel of Fortune and the Four of Wands, which is also the union energy, with a key to freedom crossing through the family tree, figuring out a way through to grandmother's house with loyal friend. A community breakthrough regarding the well water and the child's burden in a letter or notice, exposing an illness or a need to take a rest or a break. Perhaps meditating of the power lady looking out at night, the mama bear Cancer, subconscious energies requiring delicate handling. Abundant storks nesting and anchoring in to take a closer look at the powers that be, or the university taking a gamble to connect one-to-one for a meeting perhaps, or a direction with a loyal pup, with not much time to decide. If not drinking the water, they will get cut, with documentation of snake or toxic testing, the power lady healer with hope of bypassing that obstacle at 10:38, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Cups. The second message of the day was this morning at 10:14 to 15. I cut the deck, which is the devil and the angel. So, the devil and the angel on each shoulder, and trying to make a decision, which one do I go with, right? You want to go with what you really want, that might end up being bad for you in the long run, or do you follow your bliss and what you know is best for you? The 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, the 14 of the Temperance or the angel, the 15 of the devil, and the message of the day with the underlying energy being the choice, how choice is very important, and the first card out being the House, and then the Whip. I started the read at 10:19, which is the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, the 19 of the Sun, and the choice, either at home or about a home. Impatient, cracking the whip, perhaps dealing with your staff. Diamonds in the sky with dreams coming true, navigating confusion of which lane to be in and which one to purchase, with loving man thinking about it, and mama bear pushing the pup to go out on their own without their help, to mature spiritually and crack the codes, with secret knowledge that only you can break through, to stay open to direction, the north open, but the south may be a challenge. Regarding the place to work, the university or hospital, or romanticizing about it at the mid-moon or around August 1st, or an interview process, crossing bridges with great hope behind it, riding the wave, an adventure, at least over the rainbow and through the woods, with family roots to get a closer look at the specifics, a contract, information, or what's required, or certification of a purchase perhaps. Trying to stay light about it, but it's gnawing at you regarding the time crunch on a need-to-know basis. Taking the fox to the mountains south with a gift of security and anchoring down. Resting, meditating, a break to cross bridges, perhaps dealing with a death or an ending, medical clearance, or doing more research before making a decision. Ideal partnership, resting with the golden egg, deliverance by traveling or flying, but perhaps you must cross those who were loyal to you now. A mother or boss reminding you to look closer and then make 3 wishes for good luck. The child within, the impatient, frustrated man, who may be required to be bitten or eat toxic apple and drink the water, or clear deep emotions about being forced to do something against your better judgment. Getting over the obstacle, and then the other side is getting over the obstacle, then only to be cut, or a gift of sunshine, energy, happiness, exposure with a deal with masks. Wise counsel about taking a gamble for partnership or job, and the power lady burdened by commitment to her child or a child, which frees her to be then the loving lady on the same page as the fox about the water, and the deep wounding. Two as one, in partnership or love, abundant flow in the community in numbers, going public about masks and cleaning up water and nature, and how to decipher fact from fiction at 1043, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the Three of Cups, which is about coming together. And it's interesting how this came up because I just got a pamphlet from the community about cleaning up the water drainage from the sewer system. Okay, so we're going to go into the union read here for today, which is 7/27/2021. The day is the 27 of the Ace of Wands, which is new passion, ignited, and then the day adds up to 39/3, which is the Knight of Cups, which is all about the action of being love. And also the diamond light energy was coming up very much so today. Okay, so the union at 4:33 yesterday afternoon. 4 is the Emperor, 33 is the Christ vibration, and the Seven of Wands, standing up for yourself without getting defensive. We have the Knight of Pentacles in the underlying energy, the Six of Pentacles in the center, the King of Pentacles at the end, the loyal, humble servant sharing with the King of Pentacles, perhaps Divine Feminine or her son, offering help to be charitable or help the King of Pentacles or add to Akashic records, perhaps with something new. The incoming Divine Feminine is the Six of Wands, which is the journeyman, the wheel in the middle, and then the Three of Pentacles, leading with good news, destined to come together to co-create. Trinity, perhaps, which is try, nigh, tie, try in your show of power, nigh, and ty, which is thank you or gratitude. Try a show of power and gratitude at 4:55, which is the Emperor and the Truth of Excalibur, the Ace of Swords. Offering help on the journey with the journeyman, destined for dreams to come true and to work together or take off. In the 4D is the Star, the Eight of Pentacles, and the abundance of the Divine Feminine rock star of music from the spheres, and with healing, with wishes, and astral travel perhaps, filling up their pacifier with starlight, star bright, and rocking them to sleep at night. The Divine Masculine with motherly abundance, carrying the Divine Masculine and bridging with creative work, lining the E-Tower steps with crystals as a calling card. At 5:08 is the Hierophant and the Strength card, with the 5D here, the Three of Wands, the Six of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. The Divine Feminine present to all that is and to her flame, the Divine Masculine Queen of Pentacles being practical as their coin fades away, bridging by sharing and being charitable or settling out. In the 6D is the Eight of Wands, the higher self, and the Queen of Wands, the Divine Feminine in energetic exchange in the circle of trust, the Divine Masculine with the Queen of Wands with all hands on deck, learning to juggle flames, bridging with higher self to get to 0 point, and the Divine Feminine with the dream gift Ring of Fire, taking 5 flames and 3 flames and juggling them into a high vibration vortex at the helm. The Divine Masculine abundance of the Mother with the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, one like her and one the fire starter, and the bridge aligning by sharing equally with the higher self, which is your twin. So definitely there's a lot of people on the masculine side. There could be a mother or a grandmother and 2 grown children. Actually 3, because there's 3 queens and an empress. So a lot of feminine energy plus the King of Pentacles, which could be the Divine Masculine or somebody else. So the bridge here is aligning by sharing equally with the higher self. The outgoing Divine Masculine is the Starseed, the Tower, and the Queen of Swords, with a big download to the crown or bombshell, icing them out, in towering inferno of multiples. In fresh start suddenly, the Queen of Swords pulls the truth trigger, and the bottom drops out. The crystal skull discovered, or human remains are found, or suddenly he just knows the truth, and who started it, to trap the King of Pentacles into an early grave, or the Queen of Wands starts the fire and the Queen of Swords tells on them because she's tired of getting blamed. The Divine Feminine has Libra and Aquarius on their side, along with the Knight of Pentacles, and the Divine Masculine on his side has Taurus, Aries, and Scorpio, with the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, and the King of Pentacles on their side. Between the masculine and feminine was Pisces or higher self, And it was interesting because after I'd done this read already, my son called with good news about a potential job in an interview in person. But then, of course, came up all of the issues around what that may require. So the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles may be offering something to the Divine Feminine, or their child may be, or Divine Feminine receiving a gift, or perhaps good news in a message. The 4D star, the 5D flame or gift, the 6D energetic exchange between the masculine and the feminine. A lot of women on the Divine Masculine side, or perhaps there could be a coven in a very select few. 3 to 4 against 1 would be which would be the masculine. And that can just be a lot of women versus the masculine, always getting up on them. So the overall number here for the union read was 34, which is the 8 of Wands, the energetic exchange, whether that's the sexual energy back and forth or communication and travel back and forth, and a lot of it. A lot of talk about things, passionate talk. And then we have horizontal pillars were 8, 9, and 17, which is strength, hermit, and star. The verticals were 6, 3, 11, and 14, which is the lovers, the empress, the justice, and the temperance card again, that higher love. So dancing, hermit, star, and energetic exchange, or the hours of love, with lots of communication and travel back and forth. The lovers abundant with truth and balance and a higher love, suffering in silence or dealing with a sister, Libra and Sag in energetic exchange. And actually my son called at 5:33 yesterday afternoon, right after that. All right, so the twin flame read here was cut and dealt at 5:58, which is the 5 of the Hierophant, but also change, expansion, and freedom. And 58 is the 4 of Swords, which is taking a rest or a break, but it's also the 5D exchange between the masculine and the feminine. At 6:10, which is the Lovers and the Wheel, the Chariot came up, which is the vehicle of ascension. It's the feminine within the masculine, ascending. And then the T came up, just the T. However you take that is what it's meant to be. And T also toggling up. It's also time out. So then I completed the read at 6:24, which is the Lovers and the Queen of Wands, which is also written that way, 24/6, which is a very creative, passionate energy. It also can be the star. It can be the one who's very good looking. So we have the Chariot here. And beneath the Chariot, or after the Chariot, at the end of the read was the Indigo, but that was it. So the Chariot's the only major arcana in the read, which means that was the most significant energy, which is also Cancer, and the vehicle of ascension. And after the read was Indigo, which is the Magician, but in a very childlike energy in this deck, holding a diamond, a big diamond. So it's a big offering here from the Indigo Magician. We have the 4 of Wands, the 4 of Swords, and not 4 of, but we had 4 Wands, 4 Swords, 1 Cup, and 1 Pentacle. So 44 and 11, the grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, and the 11 of Justice, truth and balance, and a lot of Wands and Swords here, which can be either a lot of intellectualizing in a passionate way with a lot of movement as well, getting things done, or a lot of obsessing about those things, those passionate things that you need to get done. The Knight of Swords came up in the read, as well as the King of Swords, and then the Queen of Wands and the Page of Swords. So a lot of sword energy of people here, right? Page of Swords, King of Swords, and Knight of Swords. So that could be a father and their 2 children, or a father with a younger partner and a child, or just a message. And then we have the Queen of Wands in the read and the King of Wands after the read. So there could be 2 couples here, because before the read we also have the Queen of Swords and the King of Pentacles. So we have 3 kings again, because we just had 3 kings, and there's 2 queens, a knight, and a page. And again, we had triple ones today. We just had 4 ones, and now we have triple ones. So the new beginnings are very significant here. We have, we're going into the 2s now too, because we double 2s, but also double 7s, which is your sovereignty. Remember to remain sovereign. Don't allow someone to take your power away or your choice away. 34 is the 8 of Wands, the energetic exchange. 67, which is the Knight of Pentacles, both very significant, came up already. And in a lesser sense, we have the 13 of the Death or Transition card, the 46 of the 6 of Cups, the children in the garden, loving each other, the 79 of the Pot of Gold at the end of the rainbow, 17 of the Star, 12 of the Hanging Man, 23 of the King of Wands, 45 of the Grieving card, the Five of Cups, and the 56 of the Two of Swords, being in your knowing and keeping your energy clear. And just the number 9 alone in a lesser sense too. But again, that's about, whatever residual hasn't ended yet. It's like getting that last bit cleaned up. So the code line had no numbers on it today, and it was all about happy ending, individuality, and music. But it really came up separated, as ending came up with UALITY, so uality, and then the SIC of music came up together, which really uality and sick all came up around being old and sick, which is interesting because music broken down talks about being old and sick. So there's that energy about being old and sick, and how that's frowned upon, right? That if you're old, you're going to be sick, and assuming that, okay? But there's happy ending regarding individuality and music here. And that could just be music to your ears. The messages came up here as alternating currents of the Mother Christ, or Mother Mary perhaps, or they could be the Sophia. Clearing sudden events, the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords with kisses and hugs. So that can literally be the Six of Cups children being very loving to each other, or sending loving messages back and forth. Or they can just be messages and not be people at all, but a lot of messages, maybe dealing with a lot of messages. So alternating currents back and forth, again, that energy of back and forth. The Mother Christ, or Sophia, or Mother Mary, both coming up recently, clearing sudden events with the Knight of Swords and Page of Swords with kisses and hugs, making it all better. The M, which also can be, my son Matthew called yesterday, but M is also Mary. And the Queen, being clear and wise, seeing the southeast of the Knight of Swords and Page of Swords, kiss and hug in a happy ending. Air conditioning also coming up here, or the air conditioning man. Maybe some of you had to call an air conditioner person. Clears sudden events, right? They also are always on call, right? Because people always need air conditioning emergently because it's really hot, and there might be an old person who could be at risk, right? So the air conditioning man, who always is on call, clears sudden events with the Knight of Swords and Page of Swords in high vibe support of hugs and kisses. A crisis, or the highest point, the pinnacle of the Christ's wisdom in sudden events, or seeing messages of the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords regarding kisses and hugs and making it all better. Also, ACMA came up, ACMA, which is the Australian Communication and Media Authority. And also the energy of ACMA, which is coming up as actually acmatic, which is acme and attic. And acme has to do with the highest or pinnacle or crisis of an illness, right? The height of it. So, at the height of an illness, Christ's energy, or the unity consciousness, clearly sees or does the seed test of orbs, right? The test of your thoughts and actions and words, and how you will deal with something. With the Page of Swords and tic-tac-toe, or what is your next chess move? Before meals, the man wisely sees the Knight and Page of Orbs or Swords in messages to delete or keep. The Needle Man came up here, clear, wise, in a sudden event as the messenger of truth with a message of kisses and hugs. And then the Hungry Man. So we have Before Meals Man, the Needle Man, the Hungry Man. Sages, or wisely sees the Knight of Swords and Page of Swords messages of love. It's all about doing things like before you eat, like on an empty stomach. And the Needle Man too. The Oak Man also came up. Sages to see in the after-death test of thoughts and words in a loving message. So no matter what the situation is, to always make sure you're in control of your thoughts and words, right? And what you say and what you think. And there's a lot here about being on an empty stomach, right? Because people who are hungry may tend to lose their temper, right? Because they're hungry. So it's like the epitome of the test, like the epitome of the illness. Can you pass this test? So the Three of Wands is the top card in the underlying energy here. Below the Three of Wands, which was upright, being present or a gift, the underlying energies here were the Ace of Pentacles upright, Five of Swords reversed, the Queen of Swords upright, King of Pentacles upright, and the Nine of Wands reversed, which is the surrender. So it's an offer of a new life to end a war, with or between the Queen of Swords and the King of Pentacles, surrendering to the present moment, or perhaps to a gift. The Page of Swords reversed gives the whole truth to the Page of Cups reversed, who's in need of peace, with the Hermit to shed light on it then, or getting advice about it. And then the King of Pentacles receives the truth from the Page of Cups reversed, without option if they want to get over it. And then the High Priestess, secret or psychic abilities, with the Empress, who's released from prison or her own mentation there, being in the moment. And sisters or two ladies are free with olive oil and salt and pepper, with heart and high heart, perhaps. The Viking or Middle Eastern or olive head was coming up here, and perhaps another one who's considered as a nut or a nutcase. Evergreen and big hook in third eye, and trains, or hooked on ice cream and nuts, which frees them from prison. One may be Viking and religious, and one abundant by the golf course or field. Rejection seems to suit them, because again, I guess they don't seem to be too affected by it. So there's also this energy of tattletales, and someone trying to be fleshed out, someone trying to figure out who's the one telling or lying. So it's like you see how there was a chain of events there where one was telling the truth to another, and then the other was telling the truth to somebody else, and it's how the chain gets back to the original teller of the truth. And they want to see how it goes through that chain. Like, did it get distorted, or who was the one who told, or who was the one who lied? So at 7:30 is the Chariot and the 30 of the home, the union. So the Queen of Swords and the King of Pentacles are surrendering to the truth at present, or as a gift to the Page of Swords reversed, who then tells the Page of Cups reversed, who tells the King of Pentacles, who already knew because he was the original person. Perhaps fleshing out the gossip or a tattletale to see who's been lying. No option for the Queen of Cups reversed, who's reaping rewards of awakening or an investment idea, or visualizing a magnet above their head to draw out the toxins. Out of options with a past life relationship, and or beneath that, healing family issues. Betrayal of the High Priestess with the keys by the Queen of Wands, undressing while the flame is present. So undressing in front of the masculine while the flame is, knowing the flame is present. Standing up to unwanted advances while the little lizard watches. So this is someone who feels guilted into giving someone a hug because a child is present. Of one who refuses to wake up. Barefoot and no glasses, or luxury underwear and Mary Jane's while sleeping. Lots of female attention, except by the one he wants. Spiritual partnership is 27, the Ace of Flames, and physical activity, which is 67, the Knight of Pentacles. Saving for a new life, not sharing with Atlas and the weight of the world, or just weight and injustice. Of the Page of Swords message of suffering and silence, or of a sister in divorce or breaking contract, or purging spiritually. In a crib or a bed with rails, a message to think outside of the box. Libra and Taurus both reversed here. Spiritual gifts and or divorce or break at present, and released from imprisonment when awakened and in charge of waking others up. Spiritual partnership comes up here, and the underlying energy was big regarding being present to the ship that sailed, the King of Wands choosing a path with the Empress and the Hermit, which also can be Taurus and Virgo energies. Going forward after this read is the dysfunction of the family, business, or community, or the loss, where the Fool is now free to go powerless, or is powerless, or this is a dependent, or is dependent on getting out or sharing with lover, but without love and in surrender. The Page of Pentacles are opportunity for the King and Queen of Cups, who are both reversed here, to be forced into justice, and the Queen of Swords to be quiet and come clean to them, or clean up the act or space. Misuse of funds by freeing dependent to share money with a lover, and then dumping a load in surrender. Invited by the King and Queen of Cups, both reversed, frustrated by silence to them, but then coming clean to the Justice or Libra or Judge in court, or divorce or Libra, Queen of Swords. The Four of Cups is reversed in starting over, getting off the island of self, the Fool free to leap to the past, away from the mess of powerlessness and suffering and silence, or a sister, to end manipulation and insecurity, a need for tools, surrender, and transformation. Death, dark night of the full moon after sudden event of epiphanies or sex, with the Emperor reversed and the King of Swords transitioning, with compassion insisting on surrender to the grim reaper, which can be someone who's just reaping, and perhaps they're a little grim, at 9:01, which is the Hermit and the Magician. We have Aries both upright and reversed, as well as Scorpio both upright and reversed, very Mars-based energies, very masculine, aggressive. Virgo and Gemini reversed, and Cancer upright here. The foundation here at 9:01 is the Ace of Swords upright, the truth, the whole truth. A new truth, with the Knight of Wands reversed, player falling short, or perhaps has good intentions but paralyzed by their own passions. An energetic exchange with issues at work, with the Empress upright walking away and within, and the Knight of Pentacles offering help, or an offer to dissatisfied Empress or unhappy person. The central energy is the Seven of Wands, rising above the drama of demons and angels, and the patient angel, Queen of Pentacles, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, loss or dysfunction, or again, misappropriation of funds, in great pain or betrayal, out of alignment and trying to end pain, challenged by the Knight of Swords reversed, lashing out, lying, or holding their tongue, detoxing, chaos, or codependent, and depression and or arrogance here. The Page of Pentacles, student of the journey, dumping emotional attachments and multiple loads. The destiny of the Knight of Cups upright, offering love to the present moment, or offering love as a gift. Weak in need of courage, dumping a big load, or dumped, perhaps feeling overwhelmed, closing the distance gap in pursuit of the dream partner, ending the war with no more flirtation or casual sex, with patient angel or Sagittarius dropping the act and starting over to carry the weight of the world at home or in union, but without peace, in need of peace, and family unhappy or emotional cycle is so overdue to be done, needing strength and courage, or going through ego death, not sharing now, depression of the King of Cups reversed, on a quest of peace with a missed opportunity, or the Page of Pentacles reversed, in need of help from the Emperor upright, and the Hierophant reversed, or a divorce, and paying out, or the payout is unfair, not getting their wish after sudden jealous rage, the Fool free to go to the Queen of Cups reversed, left behind in separation, dumped and overwhelmed, traveling or moving to the Queen of Swords, with an offer to the Page of Wands, who's excited about a lover or affection of third party and unhappy family in disconnect or at a distance. The Queen of Cups reversed, no longer obsessed in a falling out of the past, leaving two lovers out in the cold together and yet apart. Home without peace, no happiness, and weak or bad health. And soon here at 9:20, which is the Hermit and Judgment, is the Ace of Wands reversed, of frustration, or not being aroused or humored, or feeling like you're being strong-armed, or another's agenda being forced upon you, holding your tongue, or the Knight of Swords reversed, lashing out and coming clean in order to start over. The Emperor reversed, with the weight of the world in a falling out and messed up, with the Queen of Wands looking down at the little man, holding on to their money. In a breakup, a disconnect, or at a distance, dissatisfied at present, or with a gift, the twin flames seeing themselves as the King of Swords upright, but frustrated in the 5D connection and release. The High Priestess and the King of Pentacles not sharing at home or in union and getting over it, or getting over themselves, with the need to pay attention to red flags, so your signs and synchronicities, but also deception and letting go of control issues, that this could be the one. Around the twins, or how they're seen, as the Queen of Wands upright, keeping to herself, with the King of Wands upright, that she knows about the sealed divine feminine, or Pisces, or the world, making poor decisions. And the block here being the Page of Swords reversed, negative self-talk, at 9:26, which is the Hermit and the Page of Wands. Page of Swords reversed, and negative self-talk, or spying and lying, or rumors of the Page of Wands holding on. With a happy ending, individuality, and music, the Hermit missing their flame, and missing no date night or meals out. In a bold move of two lovers out in the cold, in union without peace, and dissatisfied, unable to hold it in any longer. boldly going where no man has gone before, after overworking and not working or not working out. The block here, I'm getting to be determined from what I wrote here for some reason. To be determined after a war of the full moon or with Cancer, knowing and floating in detox and standing up to the kids, the pets, or Leo, or your own ego perhaps, or to expose all to or as the King of Swords, who may be insecure here, without the tools, or dumping emotional attachments, coming back downstairs without an option, to the King of Wands, Justice, or now divorced, or ending up here with Justice for all. Presently presenting the truth to the King of Swords and the Queen of Wands to start over and rise above the drama, challenged by the Knight of Swords reversed, perhaps with a mouth on them. And the Ace of Wands reversed, frustration of the Page of Swords reversed, not sharing or paying out, the payout is unfair, or an imbalanced relationship here. This just could be kids really going at it with each other, fighting. And the Chariot on the road, or moving, keeping to themselves, insecure, coming back downstairs with no option but to face the King of Wands. The gift of surrender to start again and divorce, or think outside the box, with the truth being out and standing up. The challenge being the Knight of Swords reversed, a negative message or lies, unbalanced, or this could be verbal abuse too, unbalanced or unfair, or settling out. The King of Swords is upright, frustrated, or unable to understand. The Queen of Wands with the Page of Swords reversed, negative talk or rumors or bad news about a move, travel, or the warrior knowing and keeping to themselves, without tools to continue up, unable to implement the path, with the King of Wands Shaman at 937, which is the Hermit, and the 37 of the King of Cups. All right, so let's go ahead and pull a few oracle cards and see what's going on there. So start with the Animal Spirit deck. Yeah, so really smack in the middle of this read are the Knight and Page of Swords, both reversed, which can be totally negative communication, or kids constantly arguing and lying and just being a mess. But it can just be a lot of negative messages too. And they can be in-person messages as well as online messages there with the Knight and the Page. There's definitely imbalance here, or a need to settle out, or paying out, which is leaving someone in deficit or being scammed. And the energy of a bold move at the end, of getting out of here, or traveling, or going on the ascension path for sure. The aces that were upright in this read were the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. So again, good luck with the new life or offering money, time, money, and energy, and the truth. But as far as passions and love, it's not the right day for that, because both of those swords were reversed. All right, let's see what comes up with the Animal Spirit deck here. For the Twin Flames, what is our takeaway here? Here we go. The Fox. And the Fox is a very loyal partner, but they also are sly. I'm going to read you that one. We have the Rabbit with them, and the Rabbit's always scared. And they definitely have no power when it comes to the Fox. And this definitely could be a parent and their child. And then we have this also could be two siblings, where this one's just so much like really streetwise, and this one's totally innocent. They don't know what they're doing. And this one always manipulates that one. So that could be something also going on between that Knight and Page of Swords. So here's the hummingbird also coming in along with the mouse. And, oops, sorry about that. And then the bottom of the deck is the beaver, who's really a hard worker, right? He never stops working. He really enjoys working and being more moderate here. So the underlying energy is moderation, and the gazelle's underneath that too, right? Being very calm and graceful and hardworking, along with the truth, the black egg is there too. This is someone very much in their truth, you know, being in loving themselves and doing what they love to do, working really hard at it. But then we have the fox coming out with the bunny. And, you know, they're the same in one aspect, right? But they're very different in another aspect. You can see the background. Like there's a lot of fear here. This one's more confident. And then we have the hummingbird here, who's a very high vibration, right? Putting out that rainbow vibration to help heal the bunny. And then there's a mouse, you know, who has spurts of rainbow here, but usually they're scared like the bunny. So it's like the vulnerable each coming together with someone who's much more in their power. But does the bunny listen to the fox, or does the bunny listen to the hummingbird, who's the rainbow energy, right? The fox only has the yellow here with a little tinge of sacral energy, but the hummingbird has the whole shebang, you know, with the rainbow there, and they're a very high vibration. So the fox may be upset because they usually have to listen to them. When if it's just them, the bunny always listens to the fox. But now the bunny's paying attention to this hummingbird, and the fox may be like perturbed about that. Because here's the mouse too. So the hummingbird's drawing all of the little scared ones to their light because it's very high vibrational. Maybe the fox is now feeling left out where they never usually are, right? Because they're the sly one. So like the table's being turned there. Very interesting. And then we have these two, the buffalo and the fire ants. Well, that's a contrast of energy, isn't it? Right? Because the buffalo doesn't move much, right? He's fine on his own. And here's the total opposite, where they're not fine on their own. They all feel like they have to come together to see the beautiful thing or the disaster. Whatever low vibration energy has accumulated there in the middle. A cluster. A cluster F is what I'm getting right now. I'm getting a dead body too. You know, like out in the field somewhere, if there's a dead buffalo, then, you know, there's energy coming from miles around to have at it, right? Because they're starved, there's not enough food for everyone. That's what I'm getting here. But I'm also getting infection. And this is also the polarities here, right? Because this is one, and this is the masses. And if it's just one to the masses, right? The masses are going to overtake them. But I'm getting the buffalo, you know, they're very in a higher vibration here, right? They don't need to go near this scene. I feel like they're staying away from it, being on their own. There's a clashing of energies here. Right? So when everyone gets, everyone's so entranced by, this can be the Olympics too, everyone wanting to see the Olympics, which literally is a war to win, right? If you're talking about outcomes, the Olympics is all about the outcome, it's about the win. So there may be others who are just staying off to the side and not really paying attention to this energy, whether it's the Olympics or a car accident or the famous person or the latest news, right? That's saying, what? Oh. Like, you know, the thing you can't stay away from. This is low vibrational. This is someone staying away from that, staying out of the fray. Very polarized here. And this also can relate to this too. Whereas the ones who are afraid are being drawn to the center of the hummingbird, the fox is on his own. He's going to follow his own guidance. Not necessarily be drawn to this, but is he doing it to spite himself, right? With this one, it can go either way, because he's in his solar plexus energy, or is he in the Christ light of the golden energy? And that remains to be seen. So is following his own path because he's in his ego and saying, I'm too smart for this hummingbird, why are they paying attention to them? But then again, he's being sovereign and following his own guidance. That would be fine, as long as it's not him following his ego. So there's the energy there, okay? Because also these two in their fear may need to first learn from the teacher in order to learn how to be sovereign. They may not know how yet. So there's that kind of energy coming up there. And remember, it's all about being balanced here as the hard worker who's calm and graceful and in their truth. Okay, that's the underlying energy. So let's see what the journey of love has to say here. Journey of love. So again, there's that question of choosing a path. Is what you're seeing a codependency, or it is actually a teaching and learning situation that is needed for someone? And are you not paying attention to that hummingbird because of your ego, or because you know now that you need to follow your own guidance? Okay. So for the twin flames, what is the message? What is the final message? All right, we have, again, gifts received. This has been coming up a lot lately. Gifts received is the 13. It's the transition, the transformation, the death, the end, the dark night of the soul, and being able to see the colors so much more clearly in nature, seeing the orbs and knowing the gifts that are being shown you, but you won't see them unless you look. And then we have Shakti, which is very much the feminine warrior of the 19 of the sun. So we have transition and the sun. And again, this is very much the energy of summertime, you notice here. Notice all the gifts in the summertime that you can see while you're outside. Notice that you can't see in the winter because you're always inside. Notice the sun. Notice the feminine passion. Notice nature and the gifts that it offers you, both the feminine energy and nature. And then we have the void after that, okay? And that's that 0 point energy where everything smooths out. The 40 is the Page of Cups, that innocence of the void, being in your inner child. You have all 3 sets of colors here. The natural colors of greens and yellows, and then you have the lower chakras and the upper chakras. All right, so you have nature, which is more in between, in the middle. And then here's the lower chakras and the upper chakras, and it's showing you all 3. Nature helps you stay in the middle, grounded. I'm going to read you that one too. These two want to be seen together as well. So we have sensuality, which I brought up sensuality before. So sensual awakening is the 64, which is the 10 of swords, when the swords drop out of your back, right? That's when it feels so good, right? Because the pain all of a sudden leaves you. It's like birthing a baby, right? It's really, really painful, and then the baby's out, and all of a sudden you don't feel anything. It's like such a good feeling, right? The rings of time of the 44 of the old person. We talked about the old and sick coming up, and the 44 of grounding and integrating, but also mastering love and the receiving of love. So this teaches someone who's been in control all their life how to receive love, because they were always the control person. They always had the money. They were always the one who could give to others and be in power. And if they do that to the polarity, they end up, being in a situation where now they're forced to receive love by others, because they never allowed people to do that. They never allowed themselves to be vulnerable enough to allow others to love them that much. It's a control, it's a letting go of control thing. And again, so is the releasing of pain. It's a letting go of control, that you really have no control of it overall. So it's better to stay to the middle and experience both sides of life. The sensual awakening of rings of time. And understanding what it feels as an old person, to be in pain all the time, or being uncomfortable all the time. And then the release of that, how good that would feel. So sometimes it's a blessing when someone leaves us, because they've been in a lot of pain for a long time. The bottom of the deck is about jumping for joy. There's that childlike energy. It's the 46 of the 6 of Cups, the children in the garden loving each other, and willingly allowing all of the light to come in just for a moment, to be in that full joy, to be excited, to be the cheerleader And this is very innocent energy. Sweet soul rising of the 20. And then the 46 is all about the child here. Making the decisions with love in their heart to receive all the light that's been handed to them. Not being afraid of anything. They're not protecting themselves. Their arms are totally in a vulnerable position. Right? Both of them. They're leaving themselves completely vulnerable. They're not blocking themselves to anything. They're allowing it all in, like a child would. And there's the womb beneath that. This is about the birthing of the child. To be open to everything. Right? To allow things to happen naturally. With passion of the Shakti, of the lower chakras, and then the void being in the vortex. The innocence of the Page of Cups, which is the child. So this is the passion of like the adult woman versus the innocence of the child. The lower chakra versus the upper chakra. And I would say that passion is lower chakra energy. It's inspiration that's higher chakra energy. So literally passion is inspiration plus ego. So as you understand the difference between that. But again, the child accepts it all because they're in that naturally loving, high vibrational energy. But they can slip into their ego too, right? When they get their toy taken away. That's mine. I don't want to share it. So again, notice nature and the gifts around you. The child within, and yet the power of the sun as well. It's very much about the birthing of the new child. And those coming from miles around to see. Again, this could be like Jesus in the manger as well. And then here's the buffalo. And maybe he doesn't need to run and see because he's already in his knowing about it. Okay, I feel like I want to pull one more card. I'm going to pull a card from the Lenormand deck just to see what comes up overall for you guys. I just turned 52 on the clock, which is the Queen of Swords. And we have Justice and the Three of Swords there on my clock, which is the truth and balance of separation. The justice of it, of the Queen of Swords. She's the war widow on the journey. So she's went through the separation, and because otherwise she never would have been able to take this journey. She never would have done it on her own. Okay? So she went on the journey of the Rainbow Bridge to find the keys and do the shadow work of bringing up all those emotions. Okay? The bottom of the deck is the ship. This is all about travel, but it's also about an ungrounded ship. There's no anchor on it. There's nothing to anchor into. There's no water, right? Clearing all the emotions, but it also could be a ship stuck on a rock because all the water levels dropped. It also could be pie in the sky and needing to ground somewhere. Okay? So dealing with all of the burdens and obstacles by rising above and going on the journey to find the keys, to get all of those subconscious emotions up and out, right? All the things that have been gnawing at you all your life in order to take a closer look. So again, doing the shadow work in order to become your true self, the star, and shine your light. Perhaps go galactic and connect with your galactic friends. So there's a reason for everything. I'm sweating my butt off too. There's a lot of masculine energy coming in here. All right, so I'm going to do some of the other signs today. And meanwhile, just make sure to drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature, or just do what you want and rise and be love. Take a deep breath. I will see you soon. Have an amazing day, guys. Rise and be love. Bye.